tried to hold us back, to hold us, tried to hold us back.
We will be here forever. Do you understand? Forever.
This week I catch up with iconic Newcastle skateboarder Simon Lyddiard. Simon's one of those raw underground skate rats. Like, that's kind of like my perception of him. But he's kind of far from underground as well because, like, he's known. People know him. He's been sponsored by Foundation Skateboards and Amnesia Skateboards over the years. He's made numerous video parts, featured in numerous skate mags. But at the end of the day, he's just someone that loves being out in the streets, finding spots, fixing spots, and, getting it done. He is also very passionate about customizing motorcycles, specifically Harley Davidsons, and we record in his shed this week where he does do that with his motorcycles. It's pretty rad. Got to check him out. He's also been into cars a lot over the years, like customizing rad cars, muscle cars maybe. I guess that's how you would describe them. It's a good conversation. Jim Turvey sits in as this week's co-host. Jim's featured on the podcast numerous times as a co-host. He's also had his own episode, and it was actually really nice having him there. He's got a long-time friendship with Simon, but he kind of carried the conversation actually because I went skating the afternoon before the recording and I smacked the back of my head. Like, I fell back and got whiplash in the neck and hit the back of my head. And it was kind of like halfway through the recording, I realized like something wasn't right. Like, I had blurred vision. I was kind of having trouble stringing a sentence together. And so Jim kind of carries it there, which was great. Thanks, Jim. But overall, it's a great convo. You get to really feel the character, the authentic character that is Simon Lyddiard. So I hope you enjoy it. So sit back, relax, and get to know Simon Lyddiard, everybody. Cheers.
Child of the crayon, child of the light, styles of the neon belong to a culture destined to rock for eons. Time doesn't exist, shut those cataracts, capture the virtualist. Now, let's get back to what makes things seem forever, whether it's unseen, unheard, or it's 16 again. Not a bother, feel this old man river.
Have you ever been told that?
I think.
What?
I think I sound like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
In front.
Do you?
Yes.
Sing that song.
Which one?
Rainbow Connection.
I don't know that one. I know the Caribbean amphibian one.
How's that go?
I'm a Caribbean amphibian.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, that's the only one I know. Don't put this in there. This is just making him relax.
But you don't know the Rainbow Connection song?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Really?
No.
Oh, God, no. I'm not going to sing it, but...
Yeah, well, either am I. I'm not singing the
Anyway.
Caribbean one.
Anyway.
Amphibian. Anyway.
All right. Simon Lyddiard, great to have you. Thank you for giving up some time to talk about your life. Have you ever talked about your life before?
No.
No.
I don't
How does it
think
make
so.
you feel?
Nervous. Never been on a podcast before.
Haven't you?
No.
Yeah. That's really not that special. You just, yeah. But look, I was like skating today with Jim and like the next generation of Newcastle rippers coming through. Like, you know how it's just wave after wave up here.
Yeah.
And the spots we went to were just like unique and gritty. How would you describe the Newcastle skate scene if you had to sum it up?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of really great, as you say, gritty spots. If you look for it, you can find some really, really cool, unique stuff. I mean, there's obviously a lot of development and whatnot going on around the place and areas getting cleaned up, but there's still so much to be found. You know, we used to always go on big, long drives all over Newcastle, might actually hit one spot worth our time, but it was definitely worth it still.
Yeah. Like, what about like the culture up here? Because I'm fairly new to the area and I feel like the skate culture is gritty as well. Like, people are like really pushing and going for it. There's like competition.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
What are your reflections on it?
Well, I guess I can talk about when we were all skating together. And yeah, I would say so. Even earlier days, like the kind of the join the dots days, there was all the different groups and crews and everybody had their own sort of identity and everybody was competing for doing the best thing at the best spot. And I think it pushed everybody to, to give it that extra little bit, and we all came out the better.
Interesting. Is that why you did the leap of Lyddiard?
No. I don't know why I did that.
I'd like to know why.
Really young.
How old were you?
Ooh, 14?
14.
Yeah, I think I was 14 and too young to know any better.
But I guess I'm curious, like, were you driven, because it's gnarly and I've seen the footage. I mean, it's not far off the same level of drop as Jamie Thomas's leap of faith. I just want to know what the motivation at the time was. Was it, I want to get sponsored, or I want to push my personal boundaries?
I think it was probably both, if I'm being honest. It was playing to what I thought were my strengths to get noticed, I guess. And that was one of the strengths at the time. Like I just for some reason really liked jumping off shit. I could probably barely do a kickflip on flat ground, but yeah, I don't know. That was what I was doing at the time. I very quickly came around to the fact that just sort of turns you into a bit of a sideshow, and it's not really skillful in that way unless you can back it up with other stuff. So yeah, it didn't get me all that far, I would say.
Definitely left an impact on the scene though.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
To a degree, it's an interesting one because I view it as a bit of almost a point of shame to a degree for myself. Like it was the way people approach it with me now is, oh, that silly thing that you did when you were young, and it's such a, it's I don't know, it's almost an embarrassment.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. So where did you grow up exactly? Like, give us a bit of background, like rundown of the actual suburb and.
Well, that leap thing was in Charlestown where I grew up, which was just around the corner from the Newcastle skate shop in Charlestown at the time. And I think Brad Stock was managing it, so I think I was just in there chatting with him, and we had a warehouse just next to it where we built an indoor skate park and everything. I'm going off on a tangent now. I'm not even telling you about the area, but yeah, that area was pretty, I would call it pretty rough at the time, and I lived more down in the Gateshead sort of Windale area of it, which was rougher again.
Can you define rough though?
Violent.
Okay.
And yeah, violent and hostile. A lot of teenage kids trying to I don't know, carve out their little corner or something.
Like maybe like sort of gang mentality?
A little bit. There was some silly gangs around that time. All different cliques of kids gave themselves a name and all that kind of stuff. I didn't go that far, thankfully. I think mainly because of skateboarding and because I was just so focused on that. Wasn't so much interested in everything else that was going on. But there was a lot of hostility at the time. Hostility.
I wonder, what do you think it was born from? Like, because it's quite common in Australian society and we are quite privileged. But I grew up in an area that was the same, like hostile, violent. What do you think it's born from? Is it born from like necessity, ego?
I'm not sure.
I know it's a bit of a deep question, but I do think about it a lot. Like, we have everything we need in our society here, but there's that element always.
It might be, I don't know, it was very glorified, I would think. it was, a lot of people found it a point of almost entertainment and a bit of an identity thing where you would, you had your clique and you would fit in, and, well, I don't know, a bit of a culmination of all those things. But it was certainly celebrated and glorified.
Celebrated. Interesting. Like a proving ground kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Nice. Like, to have fond memories of your childhood with your family around that time as well?
Yeah.
Relatively?
Yeah, some.
Some. Okay. For the most part, like, was because again, a common one with skateboarding is that it becomes like a bit of a place for us to escape from maybe, things that we don't enjoy at home or stuff like that. Like, it's still an escape for me, if I'm honest. Like, was skateboarding an escape for you when you were young?
Certainly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How good is it that we have that, So.
Yeah. Yeah, an escape from all that kind of drama, be it family, social, whatever. I mean, we had our own little dramas in skate world, but, none of it's serious.
Yeah.
And everyone's there to have fun.
Yeah, I agree, man. So tell us about the first time you actually picked up a skateboard. Like, when did that happen? How old were you?
I probably would have been, God, I want to say 4 years old. I think my neighbor across the road gave me a skateboard, and I just rode it down the hill 1,000 times. I don't know what it was, some rattly old piece of junk, but yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's funny because I remember the first time I seen one, and it was like a kid in my street was riding around on his knee, pushing on a skateboard, and I just couldn't believe it. And I didn't even know you could stand up on them. I thought it was like, that's what that board's for. He's like, you have to be on one knee and pushing with the other foot. And I was like still enamored by it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. With the, like, growing up in like Charlestown area, to actually go skateboarding, were you staying local or were you using public transport a lot and going into the city every chance you had, or?
We almost every day was getting the bus into town at a certain point. I think there was early years of, 10 to 12, 13 or whatever, I had to stay local. And then almost every day after that, we're on the bus.
Yeah.
Coming into town, and Newcastle Skate Park was the place to go.
Yeah, it was.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Of course you can, Jim.
Just when you were saying about being 12 and 13 and keeping it local, I know that recently Rome Collier, is that how you say Rome's surname?
Yep.
Frontside 5-0'd the 18 stair handrail at the back of Charlestown.
Wow.
And one thing I know is that around the time, or it might have been actually earlier, around the time of the leap of Lyddiard, and I know you don't like talking about that. I've known you for a long time, and I know, and I know that I know what your skill set is, so I understand that you don't like it. It's a point of contention for you. But is it true that you also tried to ollie that 18 stairs when you were like 10 years old or something with a stack out on?
Yeah.
So can you run us through that story? Because I mean that it's kind of good timing, because that handrail has just kind of been, I think Levi Moore board slid it maybe 10 years ago or something, and it's only really been hit by those two people. But you did try and ollie the stairs again. What?
Multiple times.
Yeah. So you went back multiple times.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us about the process and how did this come about?
That was, again, it was I like to jump off stuff, which is where it progressed from that to that whole leap of Lyddiard thing. But yeah, I would have been 10, 11, something, and tried to ollie it a bunch of times with my mates. We went to like a 14 stair, I think, before that in Whitebridge High, and I ollied that a bunch. And then we were just like, okay, where can we go now? Let's go higher. And then went there, and I tried to jump down it a couple of times, landed on the board a bunch, snapped the board. And then I think, I don't know how on earth it came about, but I must have told somebody on that Ledge Wax. Is that the name?
Ledge Wax was a online Newcastle skateboarding forum from that period, from the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah, I think I jumped on there and mentioned it, and those Ledgewax guys came to film it. And I told my dad, and he was like, "You can't do that without a helmet." And would not let me go film with them without a helmet on. So I had to rock up wearing a damn stack hat to film with these guys. And I'd never filmed anything with anybody before. And I must have looked like such a fool. But yeah, anyway, just tried to ollie it a couple of times. Again, landed on the board and snapped it. And that was it.
Wait, so you didn't wear a helmet the previous attempts? I thought that you had just worn a helmet because it was so big yourself. I didn't realize your dad had made you.
No. Yeah.
In my head, you were just, every time you went to do it, you were just wearing a helmet.
I tried it. Yeah, I tried it a couple of times before they came to film me, and I showed because I had one of those shoulder VHS things and that my friend filmed. I showed my dad and he freaked out and made me, and I said, "I'm going back to film with these guys. Look at this amazing thing that's happening. Wow. Like I'm a kid." And he got so furious and made me wear a helmet.
That was just my interlude. Thank you for telling that story.
It's great. I love it. I love those interludes. Like, this is like little things that, not many people know. So yeah, like I started with like the Leap of Lyddiard stuff, but I actually didn't realize that it was kind of a point of contention. Yeah. So it's really interesting to hear someone's perspective, because other people I've spoke to, they're just like, that is just so legendary. And you're just like, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't, because it becomes all that you are, and that's not the case. I don't think it was at the time, for sure. I was just a silly kid jumping off stuff, but it becomes the only conversation.
Gotcha. And you don't want to be defined like that.
No.
Fast forwarding now, like, how would you like to be defined as a person? Big questions. I know. I'm just like
the short answer is by my actions, but I don't know.
Well, because we're sitting in your awesome workshop, and like there's art, there's stickers, there's amazing custom motorbikes in your wonderful house with your wonderful dog. I'm curious as to, like, in this reflective state, how would you like to be defined if you sit back now?
That's a really hard question.
It is a hard question. I know. Like,
I don't know that I really think about how I would like to be defined. I don't know how to answer that. Like,
because creativity is a big part of your story, right? Yeah. So, because I know you did a lot of graphics for Amnesia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Has creativity always been flowing through you, even at a young age?
Yeah, certainly. And I guess that comes out in everything here. Like, this is the new creative outlet, I guess. It's become a bit more practical in a sense. Building things that do something, but it's still the same thing. It's still having a vision and acting on that vision.
Yeah. Nice, man. It's like, what sort of student were you at school? Did you enjoy school?
No. God, no.
I rarely hear yes on that one.
Quite terrible. I somehow made it through and passed the HSE, but barely. Attendance was so incredibly low. I don't understand how I even was allowed. But yeah, made it. Did the bare minimum. Did not study. Did not take it seriously. Just scraped through, thankfully, and just wanted to skateboard.
Yeah, right. So that first year out of school, you didn't sort of gravitate towards looking for a career path or a job, just like straight skateboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, I moved to Melbourne and tried to do something with skateboarding, but it didn't really eventuate. Just had to have a job that took up all of my time and partied a lot and moved back home after a little bit.
Did you have a sponsor before you moved down there? Like, who was your first sponsor?
First sponsor was Newcastle Skate Shop, but they then hooked me up with the distributor. Jim, I'm going to need your help.
Goliath.
Yes, Goliath. That distributor, and they put me on Foundation and Decline. So that was the first sort of real sponsorship.
Sick.
Didn't they used to send you those weird trucks as well? And you never rode them?
I think they sent me one pair, and I just said no.
Like Ruckus or something?
I don't know. They did also have pig wheels, but I didn't, which were okay. I had a few sets of those. They were all right, but I preferred whatever else I was riding.
Do you remember your first package? The first time you got free stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
Best feeling.
Yeah.
Because they really looked, I can remember the boot of your car having like a lot of Foundation stuff in it. I remember being like, wow, he's like properly sponsored. Like I was pretty in awe.
They really hooked me up with boards, especially because I went through so bloody many. But yeah, they were really good to me. They supported me and sent me stuff whenever I needed. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, nice. And so you stayed with them for quite a while, yeah?
Yeah, ages. The reason that it ended was there was a middle period of skateboarding there where I didn't really do anything until I started skating with Jim and we sort of started doing the sprawlers thing and doing all that. There's a period there where I just wasn't doing anything, and I hit them up and said, look, I'm just not pulling my weight. I don't really want to be that person. So I'm done. And maybe a year or so later, I got the itch, and then I went over to Amnesia, and that was it, and just sort of stayed there.
So how did you meet Chrissy Owen?
I think it was through Jono.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Jono and maybe Ian Gray and expressed interest in that, and they made it happen.
Yeah, cool. Like, were you sort of onto Chris? Did you approach Chris about, hey, look, I'd like to design some graphics, and did you express that to him early, or did he approach you about that?
Not initially. It was just a sponsorship thing, and I was just sort of happy to be writing for a company again, and it got me a little bit fired up and got me actually skating and filming again, which was good. But it was further down the line. I think it was when Chris was exploring different designs and looking for different things, and I said, hey, I can maybe do some stuff. He was also looking at giving people boards, and my view on it was I don't want my name on a board, but I would like to design some. So we did that.
Sweet. Did you skate did you connect much with Darren Caney and some of the Sydney guys?
No, I never really got around to skating with those guys.
Okay. Yeah, just sort of kept it local.
It was very local at that stage. There was a lot of travel and stuff with the Foundation and Decline stuff, but no, all of Amnesia was pretty local.
Yeah, right. So like after the Melbourne stint, was it like a nice relief to be back in Newcastle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, this place is very much home.
Less of a city feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to my friend from Wollongong the other night, Sam Giles, and he moved to Melbourne recently from Wollongong, and Wollongong's got a similar vibe to Newey, I'd say. It's a bit more laid back. And he said, yeah, just cities are good, there's a lot of skate spots and stuff, but he really craved that, I guess that quiet sort of peacefulness that you get in a less sort of city space. I don't know.
There's a lot of untouched kind of things, I think, in cities like Wollongong and Newcastle and places like Ballarat and things places that are kind of just a little bit outside of the major cities. I think before when you were saying about keeping it local with Amnesia, you were doing a lot of movement though. It's not like you were just skating the same spots in Newcastle all the time.
No.
A lot of that period, I feel like you had this fire where you were traveling a lot within maybe, 100-kilometer kind of radius of where we are. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Tell Shan a little bit about that. Like, what was your motivation there? Were you trying to find things that nobody had really touched before, or?
I think that became a major focus almost was I can't do the one-up thing because I'm just simply not as good as some of these people like Jono and all that. But I can, again, play to strengths, which is skating rough spots, skating weird stuff. And it became this thing where finding spots was half the fun and half the challenge, and making places work was half the fun. And that became the mission more than like, I can do an extra flip on this spot that everybody skated or whatever.
Like the uniqueness.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like, who were some of your early influences on skateboarding growing up as well? Can you think of any that really stood out?
Heath Kirchart, for sure. That's a big one. I think I've watched Flip to death and back. I still watch that thing before I go skating. Like, everybody in that. Jeff Reale was a huge one. He was a big influence in the spot thing because I think he sort of branched out that way as well, started trying to find unique places and skate a little bit of different terrain.
Sick, yeah. What about like local skaters in your early days? Who were some of the older guys that you looked up to?
I think I was so not in tune with the scene. I don't think I knew
That's
anyone.
so interesting.
I was just...
What about Jim Turvey?
No, I was going to say Brad Stock, because you were shooting with Brad Stock really early on, and he was he was even a couple of years older than me, and he kind of took you under his wing for a little while, right? And he shot some of your earliest photos that were then in Slam. And
absolutely. He was the first person to show me how skateboarding works, I guess. Because prior to that, it had just been, me going, what stairs can I jump? And that was about it. But he showed me how it worked, and we shot a bunch of photos together.
It's interesting. I like it. Like you were just talking about, like finding unique spots was as much of the challenge, like as fun as actual skateboarding in some ways. And I agree. Like I see it. But do you sort of feel like, do you think? I guess the question I want to ask is like, do you think that's endless for skateboarders? Like, I want to see what you think. Like, or do you think we can? It's maxed out. Do you think everything's already been done?
No,
you think it's endless, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can always approach something a new way.
I agree. Yeah.
Every time I think that, how could somebody do something different or better or something, it surprises me.
And I guess too, from like a construction perspective, like there's always new buildings being built or restored or changed. And so I guess it is endless. Because I look at a place like Newcastle where, you see video parts of Rowan, for example, and it's like there's really nothing left to be done. But then I guess there is. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I think exactly what both of you just said. And I think also things can be, we now have the ability to, like, I think skateboarders' skill sets, not just on a skateboard itself, but as far as like how we augment, like the environment has changed as well. Like now there's this kind of like almost like everybody knows how to use Bondo. Everybody uses a rub brick and clear coat and wax. When I was, a kid going out with my friends, you just had a candle in your pocket and you would wax a curb or a ledge or something every weekend. No one even had a broom. Like now, you know what I mean? I know, Simon, like when you go to fix up a spot, like you've got an angle grinder, you've like a battery powered angle grinder. What else would you have in your kit?
Definitely the rub brick, angle grinder with the flappy disc and the cutting disc and
clear coat. Just spray it
a little bit. Yeah. The rub brick usually and some wax usually took care of it. I know we had brooms, shovels, started taking out drills and a bunch of screws and all stuff because we would go to these abandoned buildings and then just like put doors up against walls and then drill another door to it and then see if you could wall ride or just anything like that. I don't know, just whatever we could find.
Nice, man. It's interesting. So I want to ask you about some injuries, Simon. Over the years, you've taken some hard hits. Like, tell us about some of the worst injuries you've had. Any standouts?
Yeah, God. The worst, just in the rehab, would probably be when I was 15-ish. I don't know, the age is escaping, but try to 50-50. I think it was a 16 stair rail. And there was just when I hopped on, I didn't realize that there was a bolt sticking out and it caught my wheel and sent me the whole way down onto my elbow and my hip. My hip fractured the lower part of my hip and the tendon retracted and pulled away from my hip entirely. And my elbow had all kinds of, I don't know what was going on with my elbow, but yeah, that was pretty bad.
So how'd the hip heal? Did you have to have surgery or anything?
No, I went to the emergency room and they did a couple of x-rays and the doctors in the ER, I remember it quite vividly. He said, "You're fine." I'm like, "I'm not fine." It's like, "You're fine. You can walk." I'm like, "I'm telling you, I can't walk." He's like, "Get up and walk." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And just stood up and just fell straight back down. And then they're like, "Let's go get a different doctor." And the next doctor came over and was like, "Yeah, your hip's got a fracture in it. And so, yeah, you can't walk."
It didn't actually pull out of the socket though.
No, it was I said tendon, I think I meant ligament, tore and pulled away.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't get any surgery or anything. It was just really a really, really long time of recovery and not being able to even sit because you can't, bend your torso because that kind of controls everything on the side of your leg. So it was pretty much just laying down for like 4 weeks.
Wow, man.
It was terrible.
Painful. Yeah, I've touch wood, I've never had a hip injury, but I've heard they take a long time to repair.
Yeah. Everything else is, wrists, fingers, elbows, collarbones so many times, ankles. But that's just one. That's you still got three other appendages, I guess, so you'll be right. But yeah, it's the hip is just
bad.
It just stops you.
Like absorbing, because you've thrown yourself down stuff and also rails, so a lot of jumping, landing, absorbing impact. Do you have did you have some kind of like preparation for that?
Unfortunately not, which means now that I'm paying for it. But no, the warm-up was just skating, just getting warm, and then away you go.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What about psychologically, though?
Oh, yeah, God. The psychological battles were always there. Everybody has those.
Did you ever punch yourself in the head?
I reckon so. Being that I was heavily influenced by Heath Kirchart and watching him have his anger fits, then I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So off you go emulating that. And yeah. And then it becomes a thing that you do and almost part of your process, that you get frustrated and angry with yourself, and that almost motivates you to do what you're trying to do, which is probably not the best way to approach things, but yeah.
Because do you have a process, like when you turn up to a spot that you're scared of, like for example that rail we were just talking about behind Charlestown, the real steep one, and that courage just to maybe put a truck on it and commit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. How do you overcome that? When you're just like, I really don't want to do this, but there's a filmer there, there's a photographer there, I've arranged everyone.
There's been a few times when I haven't been able to. And the process is, it does end up with you getting really, really, really frustrated with yourself because you kind of know you can do it if you could just switch that part of your brain off. But you also know that if you are 1 millimeter out here or there, you're in for a lot of trouble. Yeah. So it's a hard thing to switch off. I'm not really sure what the process is exactly beyond just sheer forcing yourself, going, rolling up to it enough times, getting comfortable with it, and then just giving it a go and figuring out how to bail without really, really messing yourself up. So the first one is generally the first attempt is always a lot faster because you just want to get a feel for it and get out of there, sort of make it to the bottom without getting all tangled up in a rail or whatever. At least that's how I would do it for some reason. But then eventually you commit to actually putting your weight on something, on a rail, on whatever you're doing, and go from there.
And once you get that taste, like you got that touch, then it's like in your head, it's like game on. Like it's like, hey, this is possible.
For a bit. That ebbs and flows though, when you think you got it and you start to actually stick the thing, and then it starts to get away from you, and then the whole cycle starts again.
Is that when the temper tantrums sort of start?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So cool. Like, we've been talking before the podcast and stuff like that, and Jim's been rattling off all these like amazing rail tricks you've done over the years as well. But what are you most proud of in your skateboarding in regards to tricks? There's got to be one trick or moment.
I think when did start to combine at least a certain level of skill with the rail stuff. So when we did start to do pop shovets and all that kind of stuff into rails, that's when things started to click and it started to feel good and skate. The fear aspect started to go down, and started to think about how can I, what else can I do? How can I approach this rail a little bit differently or whatever? And yeah, I think there's not one trick, but yeah, that era, especially, a few rails around Charlestown, when I revisited them from when I was a child, like I remember 50-50ing this 8 stair at Charlestown. I can't remember the school, but I would have been 12 something, 50-50. I think it was the most amazing thing in the world. And then went back 3-4 years later and pop shove smithed it. And that was sort of a bit of a check-in of like, yeah, all right, things are progressing.
Like I'm getting better at skateboarding. Nice, man. That's pretty amazing. Pop shove at Smith grind. It'd be hard to get the lock, like the accuracy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you got to make sure that pop shove it was like on point.
Yeah, God, yeah.
That's so sick.
Hey, I just want to chime in again and just talk a little bit about.
Chime away, Jim.
Well, you were talking about what he was most proud of, and one thing from a third party perspective and being a friend and also somebody that kind of watched your career. Do you ever notice when you watch a lot of the younger guys' parts, when I say younger guys, like maybe the current generation of people like Rowan Davis or Connor Reeve or something, that do you ever have a sense of some of the spots that they're skating that maybe you opened the doors for? Like, were you the first person to skate the convict rail?
No.
Okay.
Who was it? Matt Mumford? Is that?
Oh, right. Matt Mumford, like frontside board slid or something?
I think he board slid it in one way or another. I think that was the first person.
Okay.
On convict rail. But I know what you're getting at. And yeah, there is a bit of that. I mean, you don't want to think too high and mighty of yourself, like, oh, look at all these spots that I've opened up as if nobody would have ever done it. But there are a lot of spots, especially that I tried to do, and it's really cool to see Rowan especially just go and absolutely crush all these spots that were, I was the first person to attempt to do it. Couldn't quite get there, and then Rowan's just taken it and run with it and absolutely killing it.
I'm not sure how much attention you're paying to skateboarding world these days, but did you see that Sean Thomas Ryan ollied the Lucky Country Street Gap? That I know that's another one that you had tried as well, like that you tried a couple of years beforehand as well.
Yes, I think I knew that.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was another one where I was like, that's kind of cool. I thought you would appreciate that he'd done that as well. Like, I know that you like it when people go back and do that. It's not like something that you're precious about.
No, I'm not doing it, so.
Yeah, which I think that's actually a really positive thing too, because would you agree, Shannon, that a lot of people in skateboarding, there is this, especially in competitive skateboarding, there's a weird thing where people almost have a, the NBD, ABD kind of thing. And people are like really precious about, I tried that first, so I should get to go back and do it. But I think every time that I speak to you about like something that you'd once tried getting done, you're always really like psyched to hear that somebody's done it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain level of respect if somebody is still, that person's going to go back and try it. Probably don't. But obviously I'm not. Those are things that I tried. If people can do them, that's awesome,
Yeah, especially if they're like really going for it, like you're encouraging that. You're not like resentful.
No. No, God, no.
Have you ever had anybody ask you permission to skate?
I was going to ask. It's a good question.
Yeah, actually, remember that that double set ledge out at Wall's End? I think it was maybe like an 8 or something like that.
Oh, at Cardiff.
No. Jesmond. Near Jesmond, the one for that Axis Wheels ad that was in the Skateboarders Journal.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that one where we put the metal on that stucco ledge and shot that photo. It was Kieran Riley wanted to go skate it and gave me a quick call and just said, can I hit it up? I was like, well, yeah, of course, man. Like, go for it. And that's not something like I did the trick that I wanted to do and it was still there. And he still wanted to make sure that it was okay to go and do anything else, which was cool of him. But I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like respectful. Like those kids we're hanging out with today, they're not kids, they're young adults. They had a lot of respect for their elders. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's part of skate culture.
Like there needs to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think it's cool to go and one-up someone, especially if they've been battling it and they're getting close, but they just didn't get it that day, and then you just like swoop in. That's not cool.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Have you ever done that, Jim?
Me? I'm not swooping in on anyone.
Nah, I'd never do that. Never. No. Listen, custom motorbikes. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So rad, dude. Like your workshop looks epic. I appreciate motorbikes. I'm not really a motorbike guy, but like to the left of me, I've got this awesome Harley Davidson. Can you tell us a bit of backstory about what you're doing here?
Sure. When I think we were talking about it before with the whole creative outlet thing, I mean, as you've gotten older, you've got to find other ways to express yourself that doesn't destroy your body. And this is one of them. And it's this whole, Harley / I guess chopper scene. There's a lot of really great people in it, and it's a good community. But I just really enjoy, tinkering with stuff, and these things, they're really fun to tinker with, and you can always change it up and, pull it down, repaint it, put it back together, change parts around. It's good.
So like, is a project that's never complete?
Never. No. This one I think this is maybe like the 10th or 12th iteration of it. And that's partly because I can't bring myself to buy another bike and do it, so I just keep stripping this one down.
For those that are listening, can you describe this bike to everyone? And is this like your favorite?
Yeah, it's 1967 Harley Davidson. So it's very much like put together as a chopper at the moment. It's in a hardtail frame. But it's trying to be of that era. Like I know there's a lot of different. You hear Harley Davidson kind of go, but there's a lot of different cultures within cultures, I guess, much like skateboarding, where there's a lot of different flavors to things. And this is very much of, looking of the style of back then, how it would have been customized and modified.
Ah, gotcha. So, like, has the brand Harley Davidson itself, like, had various incarnations? Like, do you know what I mean by that? Like, has it evolved as a brand? Like, there was, like, the 60s Harley, like, era, and it was only one type, or has it diversified as a brand and stuff like that?
As a brand, I don't think so. I mean,
It's always just that style.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a long-running joke. They sort of decided on the design of an engine in 1920 and we're not hearing about innovation again. But it's the scenes and the cultures and everything that surround it have defined it to a degree where there's so many different eras and iterations. You could just look at one and say that's, that person was from, even to the point where that person was from that city in America, because I can see the style and the influence of that era and that city at that time. And so given where we are now, we're in Australia, we're copying different eras and sort of, mimicking that and just trying to make your own sort of version of that. Obviously very heavily influenced by things that you think are cool and things that, that people have done in the past.
So you've got like Hondas, you've got like a dirt bike there, and then you've got like, what's that one over there you're working on currently? Is that a Harley?
That's a 1980 Harley.
1980 Harley, but it's got no branding on it.
No.
It doesn't need branding.
No.
So someone that is in the know, they don't need branding because they'll just look at that and go, that's a Harley.
Absolutely.
Jim, did you know that was a Harley?
Yeah, I did.
No, you did.
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
How'd you know? Like, what gave it away?
I mean, I've never even really ridden a motorcycle, but
I've got my motorbike license.
Aesthetically, I can tell it's a Harley Davidson for sure.
Well, what's giving it away?
The petrol tank, the slope down into the seat and into the back mud guard as well.
Dude.
Is that correct, Simon? Like that's that classic kind of like.
Yeah, that tank style is very particular.
Yeah. Also, these bikes are much older, but like I'm really into the Terminator films, and he rides a fat boy in Terminator 2, and I can remember my friends and I wanted one in like 1992 when it came out, and we just knew that there was like a Harley Davidson called the Fat Boy.
Okay.
And I can identify that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really look like these ones, but enough.
No.
There's enough about it that I can tell a Harley Davidson.
That one would have looked very much like a Fat Boy in its original
before you
iteration.
stripped it down.
Yeah.
Can I go back to you when you said something about the innovation of the Harley Davidson engines before, and there's somebody that doesn't know anything about that culture at all, and you said that, they haven't really done much since the 1920s. Does that also make it, is that something that is then desirable? Does it make it easier as a starting point for something to work on as well? Like when you're learning to work on engines, does that actually make it more accessible?
It does to a degree. I mean, there's obviously been lots of iteration and improvements over the years, but they're still the same kind of design. It makes it easy to understand how a motor works. Unfortunately, the flip side of that is that these motors are so old and so particular about the way that they're put together that you can't go ahead and just like machine and rebuild one yourself unless everything is perfect, like all the parts just fit together nicely, and they never really do. So there's a lot of people that are really highly skilled and make amazing engines, really put these things together nicely. I'm not one of them. I couldn't do it. You would need a workshop full of specialized tooling just to do that. But there's guys around that do have that skill. Where, I mean, the Hondas and stuff, you could probably put that together because it's all so already just precise and just seems to run.
So, like, if you've got like a rad Harley like that, but then you wear a kooky helmet, do you get like, is it like really like a big no-no in the Harley community? Like, do you lose all credibility with the crew and stuff? Like, kind of like if you push Mongo and stuff, you know what I mean? Is it like pushing Mongo?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
But you guys must talk about that kind of stuff. Like, you got to have the full. It's got to be the package, right?
I mean, there might have been, I don't know, everyone's kind of, as we get older, leaning into wearing proper helmets and that kind of stuff. Like, I've got, obviously, vast array of helmets there. Half are legal, half are not. But I tend to wear the proper ones more these days. And a lot of people around me seem to as well.
Just pure safety.
Yeah.
Look after your head.
Yeah.
And you got some surfboards up there. Has that been part of your story?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, what is?
My dad was a surfer, growing up his whole life, and tried to get me to surf, and it was almost a point of a good point of rebellion to not surf for so many years and do skateboarding, and cost him a lot of money in skateboard decks. But I came around to it mid-20s or so.
He did.
I came around to it.
To surfing.
To surfing, sorry, yeah.
Did he ever come around to skateboarding?
Oh, yeah. As soon as I got sponsored, he didn't have to pay for it. He loved it. But he's always joked that because I used to set up plywood all over the house and just like, I'd set up plywood on the roof and just roll off the roof and that kind of silly stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the surfing thing. I think I was probably injured and just sick of getting hurt all the time and wanted something else to do. And also thought, I'm getting to that age where I don't feel like I have to rebel from my parents and want to actually, come back around and have something to do with him and bond with him. And that became that. So I learned to surf pretty late.
What were the conversations like with your parents when you were injured from skating?
Your fault.
Were they worried about you though? Like, oh, why do you keep doing this? And
No. It maybe
was there sympathy?
No. Maybe at first they were discouraging, or you've got to stop doing this, or you keep getting hurt and all that. But once they realized that it just wasn't going to stop and that that was my passion, it was fine. As you can get hurt all you want, but you're not getting any sympathy for it.
Interesting. Were they stoked when you were in magazines and videos and stuff?
Yeah.
Would you show them that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it amazes me how much if I get a photo of skateboarding, my mum just loses her mind. Like more than like my university degree. She doesn't care about that. She's like, oh, look at this. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does your dad have archives of like your stuff?
Yeah, he does.
Like all your photos from say Slam and
yeah, he's got all the magazines.
That's pretty cool.
He's kept them all.
Tucked away somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
You were saying before that they were kind of when you were getting injured from skateboarding, but then didn't you go on a surfing trip with your dad and like almost get like swept away or something? Didn't you spend a night out to sea or something?
Very nearly almost, and that was entirely my own fault. But I just stayed out way too long. And where I was surfing somewhere in, I think it was Sumbawa, probably even saying that wrong. It was a big bay, and you had to either get a boat out or paddle out over the bay and then over the reef and then the wave. So it was maybe a kilometre out or a kilometre and a half or something. And the bay had an opening that obviously the tide came in and out. But I stayed out there way too late. I realized pretty quickly I was the last person out, and the sun was setting, and I sort of panicked a little bit and went, oh, okay, I got to get in. And there was a headland on the other side of the inlet to the bay, and I tried to paddle over to it, but the tide was going out, so it just sucked me straight out to sea. And then I was so much further out, past all the waves breaking, past everything, sitting on my board with the sun setting, just going, oh, okay.
How'd I get in this?
I'm in trouble. And then tried to still head for the land, which just resulted in me getting further away, and then ended up circling back, paddling across as far as I could, and then paddling back into where the waves were breaking, and just body surfed a wave that eventually picked me up, dragged me over the reef into the bay. I didn't give a shit. I was just so happy to be back in the bay, and then paddled back in, all a little bit cut up and stuff, but just happy. That's just my own ignorance.
See, that will never happen to you on dry land.
Yeah.
That is why you should go skateboarding.
Yeah, did you
not
kiss
go
the
surfing.
did you kiss the ground when you got in?
It was almost dark when I got
Yeah.
back in. It was like,
Crazy.
oh.
And so no one was like wondering where you were or anything? Or they just thought you were still surfing?
I came back in and my dad was like, "Oh, hey, where you been?"
Like, my life just flashed before my
Yeah.
eyes. Wow. You seem like pretty fit. Like, has fitness been a part of your story? Like, did you actively pursue getting fit?
No,
No gym stuff?
no,
No, like nothing outside of skateboarding that would get you fit?
not at all. Skateboarding was everything.
Interesting.
It was no, there was no gym or anything. It was either skating or recovering from skating, and that was it.
Yeah, but you play a lot of sports as well.
Yeah, I guess later. Yeah, I recreationally played soccer and basketball and things here and there.
No, I think you've just when we tried to organise this podcast, we had to do it tonight because you were playing ice hockey.
Yeah, now I'm playing ice hockey. Yeah,
And I swear there were days where we were supposed to go filming and you were like surfing in the morning and then playing basketball at night,
yeah, probably.
or like boxing sometimes. I feel like you're underplaying.
Maybe a bit.
Your
I just
journey
whenever
in
anyone says
fitness.
gym, I just think about sitting there like lifting weights or whatever, which was never a thing. But yeah, there was always interest in boxing, kickboxing, did all that here and there, but nothing ever really stuck. Surfing stuck. The ice hockey now seems to be sticking.
Dude, it's so gnarly, ice hockey.
We're in a pretty chill league. It's
People aren't trying to check you.
no.
But still, even like on like stopping abruptly on skates and stuff, you're like, do you eat shit much? Like, do you slide out when you try to stop quickly and change direction?
Yeah, all the time. Like, we only really started, I think, 2 years ago. So I'm still very much learning.
So why ice hockey, of all things?
I don't really know. Nicole, my partner, she saw, I think it all spawned from her just starting to get videos of like hockey fights and just hockey stuff on her Instagram randomly. And then she was like, she started to show and to be interested in it, and looked up that they had a learn to play thing on certain nights down at the rink at Warners Bay. And she told me and said, "Oh, I'm gonna go do it. Do you want to come?" And what I pictured in my head was a bunch of 10-year-olds just sort of floating around. But she went once and said, no, it's properly legit. There's like 30, 40 people there. Everybody's an adult. Everybody's keen. So I went to that, and then it just spawned from there. I mean, it's fun. You get a lot of things that I miss from skateboarding, maybe a little bit. Like you get the speed, you get that sort of feeling of being, of that movement and a bit of the risk and all that kind of stuff. So.
And then when you score, you feel like you landed the trick.
Yeah, I guess so. Although I don't score very much, so
Is there actual positions? There's not, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
sort
It
of
doesn't
hang-
seem like it, but there are.
Yeah, and like I remember I went to an ice hockey game in America once, and the subbing is amazing. Like they'll sub a whole
Yeah.
team in one, like during the game. You just like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
5 on, 5 off, straight like that.
Yeah, it's like what it should be is a minute off, 2 minutes. Sorry, 1 minute on, 2
Yeah.
minutes off in rotation constantly.
Mm.
Because you'll have two other people in your position that will each do a minute as well. That's when it runs smoothly.
Yeah.
It never does, but that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to jersey people where you pull the jersey over and then you fight. You've got to throw the gloves on the ground. You're not allowed to do that here in Newcastle.
Not allowed to do that.
No, it's part of the game though.
You can do that in the higher leagues, I think.
It's accepted part of the game though.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like it's a strategy. Like each team has a fighter.
I think I don't think that's a thing anymore. so much. But yeah, they still all definitely fight.
Would you be the fighter if you were asked? It's okay.
Maybe if I was younger. Maybe
Really?
when I was younger. I don't know.
You don't seem like the kind of person that would look to throw down with anyone. Like you just seem like pretty passive.
These days, sure.
Jim probably knows stuff.
No, he's a pretty level-headed person. He's
Yeah.
like the angriest I've ever seen Simon get is just at himself, really.
Mm.
And it's that pressure. I think you always just had a lot of pressure on yourself to perform and to do certain things. And yeah, like I think I only ever really saw him get angry at himself.
That internal pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So common with skateboarders, you know. I've got a quick question for you. Quick fire questions. Ready? Favorite Newcastle spot of all time? Go.
Spot. Shit. I don't know.
Come on.
Newcastle spot. Can I say an area?
Like a favourite spot. Oh, okay, you can say a zone.
The hills in town.
The hills in town.
Yeah.
You didn't do Brown Street, did you? Did you bomb that?
No. I saw some kid recently did that. That was pretty wild.
That's insane.
But all the rails and there's so much there. There's just so much. There's always something new every time you go there.
Like up in the top parts and stuff like that. Yeah. Crazy. Okay. Most underrated skater in Australia.
That would need me to pay attention to skating still. I don't know.
Okay. Most underrated skater in Australia when you used to pay attention to skateboarding.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Do you ever feel like Simon was underrated, Jim?
Yeah, but also definitely in a way. I mean, but there were periods where he was like getting like a fair amount of coverage and was getting the recognition that he deserved. But also I think anybody that knew him knew how good he was. So I don't necessarily think he was underrated. I would say more underground because he was up here and had a full-time job and stuff and was doing his own thing. And before he was working on motorbikes, he was definitely working on cars and he always had a lot going on as far as he was always somebody that had a lot of interests.
Dude, you're busy, hey?
He was even making surfboards for a while. You need
Were
to
you
ask him about that.
really?
Yeah, that's right.
Why?
Yeah.
Just to see if you could?
Yeah. What?
You mean that thing that people spend their whole life trying to work out how to do?
Well, we didn't say I made good surfboards. We just said I made surfboards. The motivator was I was one of my dad's sort of special birthday, I don't know, 60th or something like that. I just wanted to make a board for him. So that was the very first one that I made. Was for him, and then I've kind of enjoyed it and then made a whole bunch and surfed them and and then just sort of gave up on it.
Okay. Just got over it.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I'll say, and
That's very interesting.
I think he wouldn't say it, and that's maybe it is good that I'm here then, is that Simon is somebody that when he gets interested in something, he has to figure it out. And so there's a reason why you look around, like the very first time that I saw him once he was old enough to have a license, you know, he never had a normal car really. He always had a car that he was just working on. And I can remember him talking about working on it and he didn't understand actually getting like a torque wrench or anything like that. He'd just done everything by hand and that's right.
Yeah, probably didn't end well, but yeah.
Yeah, but like he had to kind of figure these things out, but he figures everything out. He gets something and then like he has to take it apart and figure it out. Would you say that's true, Simon?
I'd say so. Yeah. 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 And then that's probably the flip side of that is once we figured out how to make a surfboard and made a couple and we're really happy with a couple, it was like, all right, that's figured out. Now what?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, there's no longevity in that. I'd say, you know, the bikes is a forever thing and the cars is a forever thing, but there's always other stuff on the side.
So you like problem solving? Like, is that why you were drawn to ICT as a job or IT?
It has worked out that way.
Because IT is very problem solving based kind of work. That's predominantly what it is, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. I got into that by a just a random government cadetship thing that they were running. Because I didn't have any kind of idea, direction, nothing on what on earth I would do as a job while skateboarding was, winding down in that way where those, you realize pretty quickly, like, I'm not making a thing of this. I love it, but it's not that. I'm not there. So what the hell am I going to do? So applied for this government cadetship, which was, they just did a bunch of tests and, IQ tests, intelligence tests and all that kind of thing. And then just put you in a career. They had like 6 different careers that they would give you. It'd be like agriculture, technology. There were some mechanical, there's some other trades and all that kind of stuff. And then they were just like, all right, you're in technology, go do that. And that's where it started, and then just stuck with it.
And just stuck with it?
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. Next quickfire question. If you could have a dream collab between a skate brand and a non-skate brand, what would it be? I've actually thought of it for you. I've thought of an answer for you, but anyway, I'm not you.
God, I'm bad at these. A skate brand and a non-skate brand.
Is that like a collab between the two?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I'm thinking like, I don't know, if Real started making, I don't know.
I thought you were going to say Real and Harley Davidson. Or Foundation and Harley Davidson. What would yours be, Jim? Come on.
Mine?
Yeah.
I like a non-skate brand and a
skate brand collab.
I don't know. Like, it'd have to be something that, I don't know. Like,
because brands are doing a lot of that these days.
Yeah, I know. And I always find it strange when people are trying to like cross-pollinate each other's things. But for me, I'm trying to think what I use all the time. Like,
There's been some cringe ones lately.
Computer, and I use the Canon camera, and one of those. I don't know what if there was like a crooked Canon collaboration or something. I don't know, but it just makes no sense. A lot of those collaborations, when you just see like Primitive's done a collaboration with like a soy sauce company or something. I'm like, why? Like, why did you need to do that?
Did they really?
Yeah. Like,
that's a money grab and a half.
I never really understand any of them. Like, I'm somebody that like usually colors in like the logos on. I mean, look at the tongues of my shoes right now. I color in the logos on a lot of my stuff.
I thought that was like legit. Oh, actually not that one.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably be de-collabifying things.
Yeah, but I guess it's necessary for these brands to stay alive. I think that's what it is. I think it's born from desperation.
Yeah, totally. And like also like sell out where you can. I hate that thing where people like, no, I mean, not if it's something that you don't ethically believe in, but if it's just like, yeah, sure, if you use soy sauce, whatever, get some money. Like, I'm serious. Skateboarding is such a like small flash in the pan in like people's lives. And if you have a chance to do something like that, like who cares? In the bigger, grander scheme,
Yeah.
Well, Dickies did do a collaboration with Harley, so there you go.
Oh, they did. They actually did. I didn't know that.
Dickies did a collaboration with Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
They just did one with Thrasher as well, but that makes sense.
Was it done tastefully, in your opinion, as somebody that wears...
Yeah,
as somebody that wears pants.
Yeah, honestly, all good stuff. Like if you go look at all the modern Harley clothing and whatever, no, thank you. You can keep that. But the Dickie stuff was pretty good.
It's like Harley branding and like detailing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
Sick. Favorite board graphic of all time? I'm hitting you hard.
Yeah. The one that pops to mind, which is probably not the favorite board graphic, but my favorite board that I wasn't able to get my hands on was the very last Heath Kirchart Alien Workshop board that he did. Did a limited run of it.
Loved it.
That's what pops to mind for me.
What'd you like about it?
Really, just the sentiment of the whole thing. Like somebody going out on their own terms and somebody, choosing to retire and putting out one last thing.
Did you love how he did that? He just
Yeah,
left on a high note.
absolutely.
You think some people hang around too long?
Absolutely.
That's true.
I couldn't say who exactly, but yeah, for sure. There's something in knowing who you are and where you are, and not kidding yourself and not trying to sort of hang on to something that's slipping away.
That kind of cuts deep, Jim.
Why?
I don't know.
Because you're getting older.
Like, we're all faced with our age at some point, and it is a decision that needs to be made.
Yeah, but
Is
you're
this
still
serving me or is this harming me?
Yeah, but you're still allowed to enjoy something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He
Yeah.
still skates, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But,
Heath Kirchart still skates really well. It's just,
Does he?
yeah, it's more, I think, about being in the public eye doing it. There's a big difference. And you can still even be in the public eye and say, but I don't want to make money off this anymore and I don't want it to be my career.
His epically lated episode was the best ever. Did you see it?
Yeah, of course.
Have you seen the epically lated series
yeah.
by Pat O'Dell, the one on Heath Kirchart, and how he just embarked on all these new adventures, like, rowing a boat from down the Sea of Cortez or something.
Yeah.
Insane. And then had to get rescued in open seas. And I don't know. Such an interesting character.
That's something you would do. No, I mean, you
Give him more freedom, probably.
I just think it's the human condition that we just want to keep striving for more and more and more until we can't go anymore. I mean, not everyone has it, but it's a big part of our experience. What do you think? Like, we all...
Not on the open seas. I don't want to go really.
Some are more extreme.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah, like
is
on the
fair.
land, okay.
My little surfing scare was enough for me.
Yeah, but what you were talking about, how that channel, like, it's like a reef pass. So, like, there's the reef, and then the water probably comes from the mainland and has to exit into the ocean, and those tides can get so strong,
Yeah.
like almost like rapids. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not a smart decision. Hindsight.
yeah, but you got out of it, so you survived.
Yeah.
Crazy, Next, look, I've got a couple more of these. So, last song you listened to, or last music you listened to, can you remember?
Last song I listened to. I think it was playing here just before. It was Fugazi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice. You don't play any musical instruments?
I fumble on a guitar.
You fumble on a guitar.
That's
3 chords?
pretty much.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
We found a keyboard once when we were on a skate mission looking for spots.
That's right.
Like this antique organ.
It was a full-sized organ. It was massive, and then we tried to stuff it in the boot of the car, and it kind of just didn't really work and just hung out weirdly, but we just drove home anyway with it.
And it was in your hallway.
Yeah.
And then
for
you sold
ages.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So what do you reckon's next for you, man? You seem like you've got a pretty comfortable lifestyle going on. So what's next for Simon? Any immediate plans?
No, I think this is, we've built a good home here, and it's just improving on what's here.
What's here? Tell us what's here. No, I'm serious. Tell us what's here.
Well, it's my house I bought some time ago, and I've been renovated it myself, mostly for budget purposes. Ended up getting this huge bloody shed built and working on all the bikes and cars and stuff out here, and it's what I've grown to love to do.
Sweet. Yeah, I can tell. You look very content. It's a nice space. What advice would you give to upcoming skateboarders? We were hanging out with some up and comers today from Newcastle.
Yeah.
But if you could, what would you say to them?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Don't worry so much about, how you're perceived, I guess. Do the things that, do the things however you want to skate however you think you want to do that. Just, do that, I guess.
Nice. Like, don't try to skate like anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, and we're all guilty of it, but yeah, try to find your thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, like your strengths and weaknesses. Like I heard Andrew Reynolds talking about his frontside kickflips, frontside flips, how he does so many of them, and he's just like, well, it's my superpower. I know I'm good at them, so I'm just going to keep doing them. You know, but he was getting like almost criticised for doing them at every demo and every set of stairs he went to.
Yeah. I mean, but that's synonymous. That's him. That's his thing. You know, and that's okay. It's not everyone can do everything. So I think it's that. It's just finding your thing, and hopefully people are into it.
Yes.
And if they are, then that's really cool.
Like what's like you got a skateboard now, and I'm looking at it. What's skateboarding look like? What's it look like for you today? Like, is it when you go for a skate now? Does it look like going to a slappy curb? Is it going to the skate park and just skating a knee-high ledge? What's it look like for you?
It's almost not happening, which is, it's sad to say, but I have, gone down to the skate park a few times and just seen what I can still do, and it's still there, sort of. It's good. I don't know. I would love to find the time, the motivation, and the willingness to endure all the damn pain to try and do more and go out and try to, get back into it a little bit more.
Oh, so there's the desires. There's still a desire there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's just when that happens, you've hit with the reality of, oh God, my knees are wrecked for 3 weeks, and and it's weird to pick something up, and in your head you have an entirely different vision of what you're going to do and like what you're capable of and everything, and then your body just doesn't really agree with you anymore. And it's an interesting reality to face.
That is interesting but I feel like you can start to make that connect between your body and mind, and find out what's working for you at this stage in your skating in your life. And if I relate it to my own experiences, like in recent years, like I've realized that, hey, like I can still roll onto a rail or find roll-ons, or like a pole jam onto a rail. So like it's being creative like that and go, hey, that still works for my body.
Yeah.
I don't have to ollie onto these things anymore, And that's been and it's like kind of opening things up, like, hey, like, is it cool? Maybe, maybe not, but can I still do it? And so that's been interesting for me.
Yeah, I haven't really tried to do anything for such a long time, so I'm not really sure how it would go. Like I go skate and do a bunch of stuff, just casually at the skate park, but haven't gone and tried to actually do some proper skating like we used to do. So it'd be interesting to see, because you definitely still walk around and you see everything and you're like, oh, I could do that and I could put that together and I could, but then you realize how old you are.
Go, Jim.
Oh, I was just going to say, you've built this really big vert wall kind of right behind us in the middle of your workshop.
Yeah.
So there must be some inkling of desire to kind of do something, because I mean that's not just something that you would just build on a whim.
It kind of was built on a whim, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, it's fun.
Have you dropped in on it? It's pretty big.
God, no, man. It was built as a space saver, so it's basically not correct in any way. It's, you run into that thing like a wall. It's built terribly.
I feel like we should get a photo on it, Jim, like just to be like to fakie roll, like roll up and roll to fakie right up on the
you'll
vert.
crash into that car.
No, you won't. It's just on this. You can go sideways of it.
You
just got to watch out for the hockey net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything else.
So good, Simon. It's been an absolute pleasure. I guess like I was chatting with Chris Yo, and he sent me a message and just wanted to say like hi, and he loved having you on the team, and he said he almost wish he connected with you more. There was a bit of space between you at the time, like geographically.
Yeah.
But he wants to say a shout out as well, and so a shout out from Ian Gray as well.
Cool. Yeah.
And he forwarded just like a nice message, which I'll show you as well after the podcast. And
that's cool.
just to say like what an inspiration you were, and just he did mention like the leap of Lyddiard, like how amazing it is to have something named after you like that. Even though you don't want to be defined by that, but I guess like it's made an impact on people, and you've made an impact on a lot of people. So
that's good.
Yeah, I don't know if you reflect on that often, but it's probably nice to hear.
It is. It's good. It's good to sort of hear a different perspective on that, because my perspective is not always entirely, positive of that whole thing. So yeah.
Perspective's a funny thing, right? Like I think about that a lot. We can have a perception of ourselves or other people or situations, and sometimes it's not entirely right. We have to accept that, That's what I've been working on lately anyway. So, Jim, anything else you want to end on?
No, I mean, I have many stories about Simon that I'm not going to share with anybody.
You're not going to share?
No, just friendship ones, funny ones.
Okay, well, it is a podcast, so you feel free to share. Anyway. All right, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been fun.
Simon Lyddiard, everybody. Thanks,
Thank you.
Simon. Cheers, buddy.